Refreshments at all Torrent home games provided by Lion's Tail Brewing Company, Milwaukee's best new tap room located minutes from the home of the Torrent. Featuring different local food trucks along with pizzas and snacks. You'll be able to find your favorite pairing with over 30 beers from one of Wisconsin's highest rated breweries. Featuring a new beer release every single week along with gluten-free and non-alcoholic options. There's always something for everyone. Check our Facebook and website for details. Find us next to Sendix on North Avenue, Wauwatosa.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome out to this Women's Premier Soccer League match here at Hart Park in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. An absolutely beautiful day for some women's football. My name is Simon Provan. So glad to have you with us today. This is a match between FC Milwaukee Torrent, who are your hosts, as they take on Chicago Kics. Well, the Torrent come in today having played one match, and in that match they were victorious, 2-0 winners over their in-state rivals, Green Bay Glory. And taking a look at Chicago Kics, it's been a good season for them so far. Taking a look at the standings in the WPSL, both teams in the Midwest Conference, Great Lakes Division. Again, just pulling up the information necessary, taking a look at our season standings. And of course, as I try to grab these standings, my computer is not cooperating with me. We'll get all of that later. But what I can tell you are the Kics come into today after having beaten Quad Cities Rush 3-0, as well as having a draw with Chicago House AC 1-1. So they have 4 points on the season. Looking at points per game, Torrent at the top, actually, as again, they've played one game, so 3 points per game. Pretty easy to figure out that math. But taking a look at this Torrent roster, very similar to last year, a lot of returning players, including leading goal scorer Elsie Twombly. She played all 4 years at Marquette, but has 1 more year left of eligibility thanks to the COVID pandemic. And she is actually transferred to Kentucky for this coming year. So she will not be playing a graduate year with Marquette, but still spends the summer here in Milwaukee. She's starting up top for the Torrent at number 23. Opportunity quickly here for Lacey Higgins. Looks to play this in the box. Lainey Higgins, my apologies. Good to be back with everybody, but this is my first game of the year and first game in many months. So I'm going to consider this preseason for myself. Stay with me, as I'm sure I'll make a few more mistakes today, but still very happy to be back in the press box. Torrent, their second home game in a row. Top of the box once again. A lot of shirts in blue packing that area. And now the Kics looking for a counterattack. Torrent say no. Solaric playing this wide. Zoe Heavey tries to make a move, eventually does get around Larson. Heavey now in the box, has the ball on her left foot, sends it in. Torrent want a handball. No call by the referee. Your center referee today, Jake Harborer. AR1. That's the assistant ref here on the near side, Andrew Holmes. Across the field in the AR2 position, Armin Sadzak. And your fourth official today, Herman Chung. And head coach Andy Davi of the Torrent wanting that handball call, still arguing with our fourth official. Second minute of play, things already heating up on the bench for the Torrent. 0-0 ball game. On the far side, Greta Hansen out of Truman State will be taking the throw-in for the Torrent. Twombly on the ball. Pressured by Padilla. Last touched by a Kics player. Padilla once again J.J. Patia out of Heartland Community College, where she is also a teammate of number 7, Aldiano. Great Lakes Conference full of Chicago and Wisconsin teams, as one would guess. Beckers plays this ball back. Easter with her first touch comes way out of her goal to send this upfield. Eventually won by Hurdle. Slarick a slip, but doesn't affect her too much as she plays this ball back up to midfield. The Kics very quick to put pressure on the players in white. We'll see how the Torrent handles that here in the first few minutes of this match. Padilla gets a head on it. Ball goes over the end line. First corner kick of the game, this one for the Torrent. On corner kick duties is Alexa Miletus. Miletus, a strong player out of Marquette University. Sends this one in, curls around, hits the crossbar. Torrent! Goal! Milwaukee Torrent! 5th minute of play. Ball bouncing around in that box after that corner kick taken from Miletus. A massive white shirts in there. Tough to see who that goal scorer was, but early reports are Layla Kelbel out of Drake University. We will get confirmation of that later. But a 5th minute goal here for the Torrent, no matter who scored it in the end. First corner kick of the game, and FC Milwaukee Torrent taking great advantage of that. We'll see how Chicago responds to this early goal from Milwaukee. And yes, it is, in fact, number 7, Layla Kelbel, with that first goal of the game. Torrent shut out the Green Bay Glory in their first game of the year, 2-0. So after about 96 minutes of the season being played, Torrent have not allowed a single goal. Tough but clean tackle in the box. This will be another corner kick for Milwaukee. Well, you got to imagine the Kics want to do much better on this one, as they have a little bit more man-to-man marking on this corner kick. Ball played short. Solaric sends this in. Twombly looking for a touch, but ball just a little bit beyond her as this goes out for a goal kick. As you may hear in the stadium, Zoe Heavey with the assist. Heavey out of Loyola. Kics now looking for their first opportunity on attack. Ferris on the ball, plays it back. Ball in the left side of the box to Larson. Larson taken down. Clean tackle, says Jake Harbour. Play continues. Certainly looked clean from up here as well. Torrent looking for a counterattack, but that is quickly thwarted by Padilla. Padilla, who started the game at right back, now making a run up into the offensive third for the Kics. This ball goes out of bounds, throw-in for Chicago. Well, this goal certainly has brought some renewed energy to the Kics. A lot of times teams can fold after allowing such an early goal, but Kics responding in a very positive manner. Torrent, by the way, coming out with the same starting 11 as they had in their game against Green Bay. Kics making 3 changes to their starting 11. Larson tries to play this in. Instead, Heavey gets a touch. Heavey with another touch. But ball back at the feet of Larson. Touched by Lombardi. Torrent right back in possession. Said her name a lot already, and she got the assist in the 5th minute. Heavey playing this one all the way back to Brecker. Ball now at midfield, the feet of Hurdle. And back to Hurdle it goes. Hurdle looking to send this one down the line. Instead, Kics end up in possession once again. Nice spin move there from Garcia. Kics play this all the way back to their goalkeeper, Sam McPhee. Padilla with a bit of a risky move, but works at least in the early stages. Ball back at the feet of McPhee. McPhee just looking for a run, doesn't see any, looks to play it to open space. And eventually Hansen of the Torrent plays this ball out of bounds. Brecker with a touch. Brecker, by the way, having played with last year's WPSL runner-up, Salvo SC. Brecker out of UWM. Salvo, a Minnesota club, surprised a lot of people in the playoffs, which were held here at Hart Park. Biggest surprise is when they took down number 1 seed Colorado Rapids. They eventually made it to the final where they ended up losing to Charlotte, but a very tight game that was, as that scoreline ended 1-0. But Brecker, again playing her college ball at UWM, elects to play with the Torrent this summer rather than returning to Salvo. Heavey with a shot. Easy save in the end for McPhee. Well, we are officially in the 11th minute. If you're just joining us, very early goal in this one, 5th minute by the Torrent. Melita sent in a corner. Torrent player got a touch, hit the crossbar, bounced back down. Heavey with a touch to Kelbell, who finished with her first shot of the game. And that is where things stand, as the Torrent licking their chops, looking for another goal. Twombly, thinking she had a player behind her, does a little flick move. Unfortunately misread by Twombly. Just rolls across the area, and eventually out of bounds for a Kics throw-in. So the Kics officially in second place in the Midwest Conference Great Lakes Division. After 2 matches played, they are on 4 points. Ahead of them is Chicago House AC. 3 matches played, 7 points. So if the Kics were to turn this around and win today, they would be tied for first place. If the Torrent are able to keep this scoreline in favor of themselves, they would push up to 6 points, good for second place in the Midwest Conference Great Lakes Division. By the way, the division finishes out with Green Bay Glory. 2 matches played, 3 points. Quad Cities Rush, who had to forfeit their first game of the year after not having enough players to line up, are actually on negative 3 points, as they did get penalized for that forfeit. Miletus in the corner. Holding onto that ball patiently, waiting for support. Doesn't come, but ball does go out of bounds. Solaric with the throw-in. Solaric sending this one in. Twombly gets her head on it. And while it looked like that ball may have gone out for a goal kick, eventually Kics just have to send it out of bounds. Solaric once again with the throw to Twombly. Twombly with a touchback to Solaric. Solaric cutting it back to her left foot, sends it in, top of the box for the Torrent. Instead goes to the feet of Eldiano. Kics do well to at least temporarily get that ball out of the box. Lukian sends this one up to Burnell. Burnell looking to play this for a run by Lombardi. Lombardi able to get there. Torrent looking to get some players back. Lombardi sends this to the top of the box. Handled well by the players in white. Heavey with a touch as she's pressured by Larson. Heavey all the way in the middle of the field now, plays it out to Hurdle. Mia Hurdle out of Kettle Moraine High School and Marquette University. Plays this up to field to Cowbell, your lone goal scorer of the game thus far. Cowbell trying to turn in, but instead meets the foot of a Kics defender. And that is Captain Alex McPhee, who sent that out of bounds. Hurdle with a nice turn. Plays this to Cowbell. Cowbell turns, shoots. In the end, a pretty easy save for McPhee. McPhee sending this long in the middle circle. That was a nice pass from Lukian. And eventually an offside call. Eldino looking to play that up to Madison Ferris. Ferris, though, a couple of yards offside. Pretty easy call for the AR. Lukian very active for the Kics early on here as Mickey Easter finally gets another touch on the ball. Easter not having been challenged at all so far. As we enter the 16th minute of play here at Hart Park. Absolutely beautiful day. Mid-70s today. The one thing that both teams have to keep in mind is a very strong wind coming across this field as Twombly makes her way towards the Kics box. Goes out of bounds, goal kick, Chicago. As I'd mentioned, the winds very heavy today, actually gusting at 24 miles per hour. Something both clubs will have to deal with the rest of the way. Higgins. Evie looking to play this up to Miletus, and while Miletus does not win the ball, she does pressure her defender enough to get Chicago to kick this ball out of bounds. Another throw-in for Milwaukee. Several throw-ins from a nearly identical spot now for the Torrent. Torrent making it to the WPSL playoffs last year, certainly hope to do so this year. Twombly with a touch. Can Chicago keep this in? No, they cannot. Another corner kick for Milwaukee, their third of the half. First one they were able to convert into a goal. Higgins with the kick. Ball perfectly placed by Higgins. Torrent not able to do anything from the initial play. Now Twombly with a shot after being played in the box by Hurdle, but McPhee once again there for the Kics. Some quick 1-2 play from Chicago. Player down on the field after a hard tackle from Hurdle. Looks to be Padilla that is down momentarily. Padilla up on her feet, able to continue on, which is always good to see. Ball sent forward, meets the head of Brecker. Chicago still on the attack, however. Looking to send this one forward was Lukian. And instead, Mickey Easter there, no trouble whatsoever. Easter looking for options. Anywhere she moves, it seems to be a Chicago player moving there as well. And eventually just sends this ball out of bounds near midfield. Greta Hansen out of Truman State with the throw-in for Milwaukee. Sends this up to Twombly. Twombly, leading goal scorer for the Torrent the past couple of years. And we see why there as she continues to fight, wins that ball. Center referee deems that one to be shoulder-to-shoulder. Play continues. Chicago happy just to get this one out of the box before Twombly could cause any more trouble. Burnell on the ball. Plays this to the outside to Larson. Larson under heavy pressure. Wins the ball a second time. Now sends this one across to Padilla. And that counterattack thwarted by Solaric. Ball out to Heavey. Touched by Heavey into the inside. Opportunity for Cowbell. Plays it to Twombly. Twombly stretching to reach that ball. Not able to get a hold of it. Ball rolls to the hands of McPhee. As we now enter the 21st minute of play. Thank you so much for joining us for this WPSL affair. My name is Simon Provan. So happy to be back in the booth. It's been quite a while. Shout out to my man Dan Pfeiffer for filling in for me for the first game of the season. It's only fitting that Mr. Pfeiffer calls these Milwaukee Green Bay games as he knows just about every stat about every player out there when it comes to Wisconsin soccer players. I've officially fired myself from any Torrent Green Bay Glory games. Pfeiffer's just stepping in every time. Solaric with a turn and pass. Unfortunately, meets the foot of Alex McPhee. Mickey Easter coming out of her goal once again, sending this downfield. She does have Twombly and Cowbell. Cowbell putting pressure on Padilla, who elects to just send it back to McPhee. And Alex McPhee, wearing number 27, also captain's armband, playing left back today. Opportunity once again for Milwaukee. Shot on goal. Nice save by McPhee. To be fair, I think Heavey would want that opportunity back. Nice job by McPhee of cutting down that angle, but Heavey also playing it just to the hands of McPhee. Keeping the score at 1-0. A number of substitutions coming on for the Torrent. We will get you all of these players in just a moment. And if we got all of those entering the field for Milwaukee, number 9, Lola Wojcik. Number 24, Addison Stacek. Number 36, Josie Bieda. Number 6, Lily Tabor. Number 8, Lauren Hernandez. Number 13, Camry Reese. Number 12, Ryan Locante. And number 28, Abby Hall. Basically a line shift here for the Torrent. 26th minute of play now. Kics trying to take advantage of this slew of substitutions by Milwaukee. Lukian trying to play this in the box. Aldiano with a touch. Back to Lukian. Lukian with the shot. Not much of a challenge for Easter there, but certainly the first time this match where she has had to keep an eye on that ball sailing towards her goal. With the Kics having pressed everybody up, an opportunity here for Milwaukee. Ball played up to Bieta. And instead goes out of bounds, but it was off of a Kics player. Another corner kick for Milwaukee. If we take a look at the goal scorers from the last game, both of those goals scored after substitutions were made. We'll see if that happens here as well. Looked as if that ball was going to go out of bounds directly from that corner kick. It does not. It actually stayed in, and a Kics player was the one to kick that out. And now Chicago making their first substitution as number 40, Natalie Montini, enters the pitch for Chicago.
In the previous substitution for FC Milwaukee Torrent, Cynthia Moyer, Lily Tabor, Lauren Hernandez, Lola Wojcik, Ryan Locante.
Another low corner, and this one does go directly out of bounds off of the corner. Certainly will want to do better with those opportunities. McPhee for the Kics sends this one forward, looking for the player just substituted in, Montini. Instead, it goes to the feet of Burnell. Burnell with a nice touch, plays it out safe to number 10, Larson. Larson to Ferris. Ferris, a Division I player out of the University of Illinois, Chicago. Kics looking a little tired out there. I won't be surprised if we see a few more substitutions before this half is over. Again, officially the third game for the Kics on the season, but really their second considering that Quad Cities Rush forfeit. So still finding their lungs, finding their legs. They do have a rather deep bench, but have not called upon that bench except for once this half so far. Larson with the throw for Chicago. Wojcik. Sliding pass As the Torrent looks to play some give-and-go soccer, we're not able to do so. Hernandez with that last touch. Now intercepted is Moyer doing the work for the Torrent. Kics still looking for holes in this Torrent defense. And while they've had a opportunity or two, nothing really dangerous from Chicago, as we are in the 29th minute of play here at Hart Park. Opportunity for Milwaukee. Shot! Moyer seeing McPhee a little off balance going for that long distance shot, but McPhee does well doing just enough to get a hand on that ball. Goes out for a corner kick, but obviously as a goalkeeper you'd much rather give up that corner than to give up a goal. Credit to McPhee for an outstanding save. Moyer taking that shot well outside the 18. Locante playing this short corner to Tabor. Tabor to Moyer. Hernandez out of Iowa State, looking to get ahead on that one. Trying to get it on frame. Instead goes out for a goal kick.
Sponsors for their support, both of the Torrent and the WPSL.
Half hour gone from this game.
Straub Immigration, Wisconsin Harley Davidson.
Quarter of an hour to go in the first half. Game started out quick with Milwaukee scoring a goal off of a corner kick. And ever since then, few shots on goal for Milwaukee. Nothing much from the Kics. A lot of game in the middle of the field so far. And what started out as a robust game has been not the most exciting of soccer matches, but certainly, again, very early in the season, both teams getting a feel not only for each other, but as players. Yes, Milwaukee does have a lot of players returning this year, but so many of them playing at different colleges. Yes, there's a number of UWM players and Marquette players that know each other well, but as they look to connect with each other, may take another game or two. But of course, ultimately, what matters in the end, when it concerns the standings, is that scoreboard. Milwaukee leading the way 1-0 after a fifth-minute goal scored by Kelbel, assisted by Heavey. Free kick near midfield now for the Torrent. Wojciech playing this back. Hansen trying to get that one out to Abbey Hall. One of the things that we see year after year with the Torrent is having to get used to the fast turf here at Hart Park. Again, a strong contingent of Marquette and UWM players on this Torrent team. Both colleges playing on a natural surface. So to then switch over to this artificial surface, which again, a lot of sports played in this community stadium, just packing this artificial turf down, making it faster and faster from season to season. And correction about the field at Engelman, no longer a natural surface. That is artificial as well. As my man next to me, Kevin O'Connor, mentions, it would be good to fluff this field up a bit. They do have machines to do so. But again, you see out there that they've got the American football lines, soccer lines, lacrosse lines, Quidditch lines, ultimate Frisbee lines. But it does see a lot of use. Field hockey as well. Nevertheless, both teams have to play on the surface. You just certainly want the Torrent to start to get used to it quicker, use it as a home field advantage. 35th minute of play. Torrent still lead 1-0. Kics still just trying to find their way in this game. They've made a couple of attacks in their final third, but nothing much to speak of. And even the Torrent has slowed down a bit. Tabor plays this out to LeConte, who plays it right back to Tabor. Tabor takes a peek behind her. Looks like she was going to switch fields, instead keeps it at her feet, and eventually wins the throw-in for Milwaukee. Torrent with 8 substitutions this half, all in one window. Kics with 1. McPhee looks to send this in the middle. Intercepted once again by the Torrent. And then we see some miscommunication between Hernandez and Stacek. Stacek out of Warren Township High School was a first-team All-State player this year in Illinois and recently announced that she is committed to St. Louis University. So congratulations to her, as we wish her well on her Division I career in college soccer. Tabor with the throw-in. Bieta plays this across field. Reese out of UIC plays this one back. Bieta out wide. Tabor plays this to LeConte in the corner. LeConte takes a peek up, sends this one in. McPhee doing an outstanding job in that Kics goal today. Read that one well, grabbed it out of the air before there could be any danger from the Torrent. And we see here the Kics are able to get this ball up over midfield, but so slow to react from their midfield and even some of their defenders who certainly could push up. Instead, all staying back, not giving many options for that Kics attack. Ball on the other side of the field. Abby Hall out of Seton Hall with the throw-in. Opportunity for Milwaukee. This one skied over the goal. Don't think we'll have much in the way of stoppage time, if anything, other than perhaps the long substitution by the Torrent, maybe adding 1 minute here.
You can also grab some snacks from Knight's Popcorn, and while you're on that side of the pitch, get yourself a Torrent Coach from Lion's Tail Brewing to wash things down.
We talked about
Barbecue, Knight's Popcorn, and Lion's Tail Brewing. Proud
Madison Ferris out of UIC. And, of course, Camry Reese also out of UIC. So those players, teammates in college ball. Nice save again by McPhee. So teammates in college, but here today, facing off against each other in this WPSL match. Locante with a bit of an awkward touch. No foul called. Torrent continue on with the ball. No foul called there either. Play continues. Madison Ferris with a quick touch. Kics once again looking to move forward. Trying to bring a few players forward this time. Lombardi in the middle of the field now. Plays this with a small touch back to Ferris. Ferris out wide to Lukian. Lukian trying to send this forward. Took a bounce off of a Torrent player. Goes out of bounds for a Kics throw-in. Montini with the throw. Burnell making the run across. Receives the ball. Trying to keep the ball alive. Burnell now by the 6. Trying to turn. Not able to do so. Keeps looking for some support. Doesn't have it. Continues to win the ball back. Every time it looks like she was going to lose that ball. Burnell kept at it. Ball now played in. And a slow shot coming from Lukian. Got to be disappointed if you're the Kics after all that hard work from Burnell to just end up with a very easy shot for Easter to grab off the floor, off the bounce. And Torrent once again in possession. Entering the final 5 minutes of the first half. Ball on the far side. Kics able to move back quickly, making sure that the Torrent could not take advantage of what could have been a counterattack. Kics looking for a counterattack of their own. And Burnell called offside. If you take a look at her, she wasn't going to go towards that ball as Burnell now comes off the field in favor of Julia Olander. But it was as if Burnell realized there was no other option and taking a chance to go at that ball, seeing if perhaps maybe she wasn't offside. And, of course, in the end, deemed to be so. Hernandez plays this back. Ball out wide now to Tabor. Tabor sending this one in. Can the Torrent find a goal here before the half ends? That opportunity, though, resulting in the answer of no.
Milwaukee Torrent sponsors for the 2024 season, including DS Designs LLC, Lionsdale Brewing Company,
Sam McPhee with the goal kick. Sends this one forward.
Knight's Gourmet Popcorn and Project Concierge.
Shot on goal. McPhee once again. McPhee to McPhee. Back to McPhee. Always fun when you can say that. Ball sent out. Our starting lineup might show Sam McPhee with number 25, as that's what was reported to us early in the game, but she's actually wearing number 29. Either way, she's the one in black, the goalkeeper. Easy to figure out who it is. Ball sent forward. Everybody back, basically, for the Kics. And an opportunity here once again for Milwaukee. Wojcik plays this back. Ball sent out wide by Hernandez. Ball back to Hernandez. And Chicago, they have numbers if they use this right. They are looking for the counterattack. Making her way towards goal was Olander, still on the ball. Nice ball touched out of bounds by Hansen, thwarting that counterattack by Chicago. Olander playing this one into Lukian. Back to Olander. Olander sending this in the box, headed out once again by Greta Hansen. Hansen called upon here in these final minutes of play, answering the call each time. A minute and a half left in regulation. We will see if we have any stoppage time added to that. Hernandez looks to play this up. McPhee backing up, gets the ball at her feet. And then picking it up off the ground. Oh, misplayed, mistouched by Pandia, who is able to come back and win it back. Good recovery by Padilla. Again, Padilla playing her college ball at Heartland Community College, where she is a teammate with El Diano. Both playing here for the Kics. Chicago looking for an opportunity before this half is over. Olander turns, steps over, continues on with the ball, and now looks to try to get a shot off. Instead goes out for a goal kick. Mickey Easter, of course, will take her time. Happy to go in the locker room with a 1-0 lead. Plays a short goal kick. Kics also not pressuring much. And while I thought we wouldn't have much stoppage time, we will have 2 additional minutes as that starts right now. I guess we did have J.J. Padilla down. Forgot about that slight injury. So with that injury and the 10 substitutions we saw in this first half, we have 2 additional minutes, which we are about 25 seconds into at the moment. And the aforementioned Padilla on the ball, trying to send this forward. Looked as if it was going to go out of bounds, perhaps an assist from the wind to keep it in momentarily. And another throw-in for Chicago. Lukian, who played much of this first half on the left, on the right. This is an opportunity for Chicago right before the end of the half. Goal! 40. Chicago Kics tying this up with less than a minute to go in stoppage. Goal scored by number 40, Natalie Montini. The Torrent caught napping right before the end of this half. Well, a complete surprise as that goal comes against the run of play. But Torrent perhaps getting a bit complacent in their defensive third. And give credit to the Kics, especially Montini. Able to keep that ball at her feet, beat one defender, and then go one-on-one with Mickey Easter and place that ball in the back of the net. Two minutes of stoppage have been played. We'll see how much longer Jake Harbour gives this first half, adding a little bit on after that goal celebration. Torrent perhaps with one last opportunity before they head to the locker room. Abby Hall on the ball for Milwaukee. Does well to keep this in. Abby Hall gets past one defender. Padilla happy to get a foot on that. Send it out of bounds. And after much domination by FC Milwaukee Torrent in this first half, getting a goal in the 5th minute of play, Chicago Kics surprise everyone getting a goal in the 45th plus first minute of stoppage, tying this game up 1-1 in what seemed to be a game that was a bit slow-paced for much of that first half. Certainly picked up speed in the end of the first, and I can only imagine what quick pace we'll see in the second half. Ladies and gentlemen, it is halftime here at Hart Park. Your score is FC Milwaukee Torrent 1, Chicago Kics 1. We got about 15 minutes for this halftime. We'll take a break, and we will see you in time for the start of the second half. You're watching WPSL Soccer. My name is Simon Provan. We are coming to you from Hart Park in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin.
All Torrent home games provided by Lion's Tail Brewing Company, Milwaukee's best new tap room located minutes from the home of the Torrent. Featuring different local food trucks along with pizzas and snacks. You'll be able to find your favorite pairing with over 30 beers from one of Wisconsin's highest rated breweries. Featuring a new beer release every single week along with gluten-free and non-alcoholic options. There's always something for everyone. Check our Facebook and website for details. Find us next to Sendix on North Avenue, Wauwatosa.
Welcome back to Hart Park here in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. Thanks so much for joining us in this WPSL match as FC Milwaukee Torrent hosts Chicago Kics. Just about to start second half action. Teams will start the second half tied 1-1. Torrent scoring early on, basically off of a corner kick in the 5th minute of play. Ball came in from the corner. Torrent player got a touch, hit the crossbar, bounced back down. Heavey with a touch to Kelbell, who slotted it home. And from there, the Torrent dominated almost the entire first half, but against the run of play, a minute into first half stoppage, Kics tied things up as Montini had a one-on-one with Mickey Easter, slotting that in the goal, giving the Kics momentum going into the locker room. And obviously we have the second half started off here. Hurdle with a touch, but she meets the force of Olander. Shoulder-to-shoulder tackle. Hurdle still on the ball in the corner, trying to win something for the Torrent, and she does. Corner kick for Milwaukee. Just 33 seconds into the second half. Can the Torrent start the second half in similar fashion to what they did in the first? Miletus handling the corner kick duties. Sends this in right at the 6. Good placement, but Kics there initially. And McPhee, who had an outstanding first half, many great saves, grabs that one off of the bounce. Handshake to start the second half between the head coaches. Head coach for the Torrent, also the owner of the club, Andy Davi, and head coach for the Kics, Reynaldo La Rota. Kics looking for an opportunity. Instead, ball played back to Easter. A little bit more energy to start this second half. I had mentioned in the first half, both teams a little bit in a lull. And, of course, you would certainly expect the Torrent to want to come out with a lot of fire after giving up that late goal in the first half. And in similar fashion, you'd expect the Kics wanted to find that second goal early. Miletus, the center midfielder for Milwaukee, at least to start the half. Able to play this out wide. Nice move on the far side. Ball played up to Twombly. That was Heavey with the nice step over. Heavey new to the team this year. Great addition to the Torrent, and that'll be offside. Cowbell standing about 5 yards offside. Easy call for our assistant referee, Armin Sadzak. Easter with a simple touch. Ball played right back to her. Looking a bit more purposeful with her passes is Easter. First half, a lot of the time was spent just playing it to open space. A lot of credit, of course, goes to the Kics. Playing a lot of man-to-man marking today. Hansen. Ball played forward. Off of the bounce. Torrent here with perhaps another opportunity. Kelbell trying to beat Padilla to the ball. Padilla wins that foot race, plays it back to Maffei, who sends this ball downfield. Torrent once again, though, able to get possession. Ball just goes out of bounds. Laney Higgins there for Milwaukee. One of the many local players on this team. Right in front of Harbor, a shove to the back from Alberts. Jocelyn Garcia standing over this one for Chicago. Takes a look downfield. Every player covered by the Torrent. Miletus with a touch. Plays this out to Solaric. Solaric plays it upfield. Heavey trying to get there, but realizes pretty early not going to get to that ball. Lets it roll out of bounds. But Torrent once again in possession. Ball back to Easter. A little bit more patience from Milwaukee this time around as compared to the first half. We did not see many balls played back to Easter in the first half and have seen quite a few already early on in the second half. Higgins able to win this ball, then taken down. Lukian commits the foul. Lukian very active for Chicago in the first half, although she plays right wing or right midfield, depending on how Chicago lines up. A lot of play ends up going through her. Hurdle plays this ball inside. Hurdle calling for the ball again. Eventually, ball comes to her feet. A nice give and go play with number 7, your goal scorer for the Torrent, Kelbell, able to earn a throw-in for Milwaukee. Hansen with the throw, looks up to Kelbell. Kelbell with a few touches, juggling the ball. Once again, able to win a throw-in for the Torrent. La Rota with some quick coaching, some very animated coaching to Padilla. Kelbell and Padilla once again going at it. Padilla with the tackle, able to win the ball, but sends it over the end line. Corner kick for Milwaukee. Melita standing over the ball once again. Sends it in near the 6. Twombly gets up, jumps a little too soon. Higgins, top of the box, plays this outside. Now the ball sent in once again. McPhee taken down. That was Kelbell trying to go up for the ball, but went into the goalkeeper. Easy call there from our center official, Harbor.
WPSL Health Insurance, DS Designs LLC, and Gilbay.
Torrent doing a good job today of at least getting near the Kics 18, but then Chicago turning around and doing a great job of basically keeping the Torrent out of the 18. And now, as I say that, Milwaukee with an opportunity. Ball played towards the goal, easily handled by Lukian. Throw in for Milwaukee. Not much happening there for the Torrent. But opportunity as Higgins wins this ball, takes it to the end line, sends it in. Opportunity for Cal Bell, goes past her. Hurdle with an opportunity. Twombly now with the ball at her feet at the 6. Still Milwaukee's ball in the box, and the Kics able to send it out. A few opportunities there for the Torrent, never really able to pull the trigger. Again, credit to the Kics defense, as every single time it looked like Milwaukee would have a chance to take a shot, a Kics defender was there getting in the way. Once again, Milwaukee looking to get in the box. They do so, and this will be a penalty kick. Ball handled by the hand of one of the Kics players. Not sure if that was called on Garcia or if the handball happened before the ball got to her. Nevertheless, here in the 56th minute of play, a critical match call by Jake Harborer as Lainey Higgins sets up, ready to take this kick from the spot. Well, McPhee has been masterful with a lot of her saves today. This is quite the moment for the Torrent. Goal! Lainey Higgins officially in the 57th minute of play after a handball in the box by Chicago. Torrent up once again in this game by a goal thanks to that 57th minute PK by Lainey Higgins. Unfortunate turn of events for the Kics as they had been playing so well defensively. But Lainey Higgins with an almost perfect penalty, making it look like she's going to go to the left of McPhee. Got McPhee going that way. And then Higgins basically just calmly slots it to the right of McPhee. Nothing McPhee could do about it as all her weight was moving her to the left. So may have looking like a slow take in PK, but Higgins doing everything she could to sell that as if she was going the other way. Again, Milwaukee up by a goal. And an opportunity for Cal Bell. McPhee not happy with that slide from Cal Bell at the end. Looked like she perhaps had a few words. Cal Bell laughing them off. Back up on her feet as the ball ends up on the other side of the pitch in the hands now of Mickey Easter with a quick rollout to her right back. Well, we were hoping we'd see much more action from either of these teams in the second half. Certainly have seen that here in the first 14 minutes of play in the second here at Hart Park. Again, you are watching FC Milwaukee Torrent host the Chicago Kics. Third game for the Kics on the season, second game for Milwaukee. Throw in for Chicago, and speaking of Chicago, they will make their first substitution of the second half. Returning to the field is Grace Larson, one of the starting 11 today for Chicago. And she is going to replace, I thought initially it was Natalie Montini. Instead, it is Jocelyn Garcia.
FC Grace Larson for Jocelyn Garcia.
Larson playing her ball at Dominican University. She's been an important player for Chicago today. But perhaps the most important player winning the ball momentarily for Chicago, that is number 44, Ava Lukian. Ball sent forward. Played all the way back to Easter from her left back, Greta Hansen. Hansen quite a game today as well defensively. She's been involved in quite a few plays as she plays this ball up to Hurdle. Hurdle, one of 6 kids from the Hurdle family, all having played soccer. In fact, her younger sister, Riley, just finished up her season with Kettle Moraine High School, and this will be the first time in many, many years, starting next season, that Kettle Moraine girls soccer will not feature a hurdle in their lineup. Warming up for Chicago is number 30, Viviana Sanchez. We'll see if she gets in the game here sooner rather than later. Miletus not happy with the non-call, although quite honestly, even from up here, did not see what it was that she may have been looking for on that. Larson with the throw for Chicago. Lainey Higgins with a nice interception, trying to play this ball forward, but instead Lukian wins that. Lukian, by the way, having scored in both previous games for Chicago, and now an assist here today. Making an early case to be on the all-conference team at the end of the season. Ball played across to Hurdle. Hurdle plays this up to Kelbell. Now Twombly. Twombly with a nice pass. Opportunity here for Heavey. Instead, ball falls to the feet of Hurdle near the end line. Plays it back to Twombly. Torrent just trying to find their way through that Kics box. Hurdle able to turn her player, still on the ball, plays it. What an amazing goal for Milwaukee. Miletus with the 3rd goal of the game for FC Milwaukee Torrent. A lot of credit, though, goes to Mia Hurdle. Able to turn that ball near the end line, plays it perfectly. Miletus with a perfect run, however, finished things off, putting Milwaukee up 3-1 here in the 64th minute. Hurdle staying calm near that corner, having to get around her defender. Grace Larson beaten twice by Hurdle on that play. And then again with a perfect ball right up in the air. Miletus there, finish things off. That is a textbook goal. Almost as if that was straight from the training ground for the Torrent. Twombly on the ball once again. Plays to Higgins. Milwaukee trying some 1-2 touch soccer. Well, certainly fitting that two Marquette players connect on that third goal. Goes to show how still in sync with each other after the fall season at Marquette. Hurdle and Miletus. Would certainly like to see more of that, not only in this game, but in the Torrent season. 65th minute of play. Almost the 66th. Final 24 minutes of this game left to play. Hurdle plays this down the line to Kelbell. Padilla with a nice tackle, but Kelbell able to keep control of that ball. And although she lost it momentarily, Larson sends it out of bounds. Hansen with the throw-in for Milwaukee. Hansen to Hurdle. Hurdle against Larson once again. Hurdle able to keep the ball, beats Larson a third time. Still on the ball is Hurdle. Now Padilla able to get past her. This is where she passed it in when she got that assist. McPhee reads that one well, as if knowing Hurdle was going for the exact same spot as she went to before.
On Saturday, June 22nd, when they take on Geo's Lions SC out of Chicago in a crucial WPSL match. Kickoff will be at 3 p.m. Correction, 7 p.m. That's the Torrent and Geo's Lions, Saturday, June 22nd at 7.
Ball all the way back to the other side of the field. Have not had the same Mickey Easter's name for about 6 or 7 minutes. Miletus with a nice ball. Padilla all over the place defensively, wins that ball. With the header was Madison Ferris. Another throw-in for Milwaukee near midfield. Well, looking at the power rankings in the WPSL, Torrent started the season pretty high in the rankings, and after many other teams had the opportunity to play multiple games while the Torrent were waiting for their season to kick off, the Torrent had fallen out of the top 25. And even after beating Green Bay Glory 2-0, still we're not back in the top 25. But should this scoreline hold, I imagine we'll see the Torrent back up in the top 25 of the WPSL National Power Rankings. And just as we saw in the first half, and perhaps may be a continued theme throughout the season, head coach Andy Davi of the Torrent subbing in 8 players. Currently in the 68th minute. We'll see if that correction, 9 players for the Torrent. And the Kics down in the corner. Foul called against Chicago. And here come those 9 players in for Milwaukee. Basically all the same players that were subbed in with an additional one. Coming in for Milwaukee, Senya Moye, Lola Wojcik. Number 24, Addison Stazak. Number 36, Josie Bieta. Number 6, Lily Tabor. Number 8, Lauren Hernandez. Number 13, Camry Reese. Number 12, Ryan Locante. And number 28, Abby Hall. Brecker and Mickey Easter, of course, the goalkeeper. The only two starters staying in. Well, this is the lineup that did get scored on in the first half stoppage time. We'll see if they can perhaps do a bit better this time out. Of course, now with a 2-goal cushion. And keeping the center back in for Milwaukee, much like they did last year with Callie Swenson. Swenson concentrating a bit on her coaching career now. But Milwaukee not losing a step in that back line, as important of a player that Callie Swenson was. Again, Torrent, a WPSL playoff team last year and playoff host team last year. Looking to get back to the playoffs again. And of course, would love to have a better showing in the playoffs, but first, they have to get there. Torrent had gone 135 minutes to start the season without conceding a goal. Then, of course, gave one up in stoppage time of the first half of this game. Offside. I have the fortune of being right in line with that offside call, and while it may be heartbreaking, that was the correct call from our far side AR. But again, Milwaukee trying to keep things lively here in the second half, as the Kics will soon be making a substitution. Player going in is number 56. Unfortunately, I was not given a number 56 on my roster. We will do some digging to see if we can find out who that player actually is. And 56 for today is Ashley Gaska. If I am mispronouncing that name, my apologies.
Ashley Gaska comes on for Chicago Kics FC, replacing Grace Larson.
And coming off the pitch was Grace Larson. Good game today. However, a bit of tired legs perhaps in the second half, as we saw Mia Hurdle beat her several times, leading to that third goal. Mickey Easter called upon. And although for a top-class goalkeeper like Easter, that may be an easy save, those can be tricky coming in fast. And when you've spent the last almost 30 minutes not having seen much action back there, it can be very easy for goalkeepers to fall asleep and give up a goal on a shot that Easter just saw. And now another substitution for the Kics. Once again, getting confirmation on who this is. We do not have a number 37 listed on our rosters for the day. And also not in the program that we have with the WPSL. So our apologies for not having that information on number 37. Foul called against Milwaukee, much to the chagrin of the Torrent fans. Looks as if we will soon have Inara Aldiano come on the pitch for Chicago, as she stands there and talks to head coach Reynaldo Larota. Herman Chung, your fourth official, making his way over to get the information of where she will be going and who she'll be taking off. Moyer plays this back to Easter. Easter playing it out to her right side. Ball played in the box from the Kics. No danger whatsoever as this rolls out. Coming off the field for the Kics is Olander. A decent game today from her. We'll see if she comes back on the pitch. And now a goalkeeper change for the Kics. Lucy Ashmore coming on for Chicago as she replaces Sam McPhee. Again, McPhee, outstanding play today. Yes, she gave up 3 goals, one of those a PK. Another, just a lack of defense. But I'll tell you what, if that is the goalkeeper you have between the pipes, you've got to be a bit hopeful for a good season, at least from this game that we saw from her today, especially in the first half. Many outstanding acrobatic saves. And Ashmore comes in and within 30 seconds of being in, sees some action, gets that ball off of the bounce, making sure the Torrent could not be dangerous in their attack. Ashmore sending this forward. Momentarily controlled by Moyer, and now a free kick for Milwaukee from midfield. A lot more substitutions happening here in the second half. Farr coming in for Chicago Kics. Well, taking a look at the schedule ahead, Milwaukee Torrent will next play Friday, June 14th, that game at Quad Cities Rush, as Farr comes into the game for Chicago. She has replaced number 40 and goal scorer for Chicago, Natalie Montini. Well, going back to the schedule, again, FC Milwaukee Torrent next plays Quad City Rush on Friday, June 14th at Quad City. And the following day, well, Chicago Kics will also be playing Quad Cities Rush. So those games 24 hours apart from each other. And then after that, FC Milwaukee Torrent will travel again to Chicago, but this time against Chicago House AC. First game between those two clubs. Of course, Chicago House AC has had a men's team for a couple of years now. This is their first year with a women's side. Starting out the season decently. The House, of course. 7 points out of 3 games. Another game in action today that we do not have a score for. Quad Cities Rush taking on Green Bay Glory. Rush with a number of home games to start the season. Opportunity for Milwaukee. That may officially be marked as an own goal, but Josie Bieda is the one who put that at least in the mouth of the goal. And as Chicago was trying to get this one out, ball right back into the side netting. But it does look like Herman Chung, your fourth official, is getting clarification from the Torrent bench on who may have scored that. So we might as well give credit to Bieda as well here in the 80th minute of play. Torrent up now 4-1. As we enter the final 10 minutes in this affair here at Hart Park in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. Wind not actually playing as critical of a role as I thought it may today. Again, 24 mile per hour winds to start the game. I believe it may have died down just a bit, but certainly still windy down on that Hart Park pitch. May not be the greatest goal Bieda will have scored in her career. But of course, she's just happy to get another mark on the scoreboard. Possibly sealing this game from Milwaukee. Do not want to get ahead of ourselves, as stranger things have happened in the sport of soccer. But in the 82nd minute now, FC Milwaukee Torrent with a 3-goal cushion up 4-1. This is the lineup that gave up that 45th plus minute goal at the end of the first half, and certainly have reversed fortunes here in the second half, getting a goal of their own. Hernandez on the ball from Milwaukee, plays this back. Nice touch from Wojciech. Foul called in favor of Milwaukee. I just mentioned Wojciech's name. She is the player who got things started for Milwaukee against Green Bay Glory, scoring her first goal of the season and the first goal completely of the season for FC Milwaukee Torrent in the 35th minute of play. Other goal scorer of that game just said her name in the 80th minute for scoring here today, Bieda. And now another opportunity for Milwaukee. Called offside, however, was Bieda. Looking for her second goal today. Would have been her third goal of the season.
Special thanks to the Milwaukee Torrent sponsors for the 2024 season.
And, of course, your goal scorers today, Cowbell in the 5th minute, Higgins in the 57th, Miletus in the 64th. Higgins, by the way, scoring from the spot. And in the 80th, Bieda. Montini, the goal scorer, and so far the lone goal scorer for Chicago Kics. Foul called once again for the Torrent as Abby Hall was taken down, basically between two players of the Kics. And on the field now for Chicago, Jocelyn Garcia returns to the pitch.
Jocelyn Garcia
as Alex McPhee, one of the captains for the Kics, I am assuming is coming off for her final time today as we officially in the 85th minute of play. Next home game for Chicago Kics, if this schedule is correct on the WPSL website, is next Sunday, as opportunity possibly arises for Milwaukee. Sunday, June 16th, the Chicago Kics are back at home in a 3 o'clock game against the Green Bay Glory. And the Torrent do not return home until June 26th in a return match taking on Chicago House AC. So after today, the Torrent go on a 4-game road trip as this ball is played in the middle, taking on Quad Cities Rush, Chicago House in Chicago, and then heading up to Green Bay on Friday, June 21st for that return match. Again, the only other game FC Milwaukee Torrent have played this year was against Green Bay Glory, that being a 2-0 win, having taken place this past Sunday, or I should say last Sunday, June 2nd. 87th minute of play. Hall trying to make the turn, not able to do so, but Reese able to there to win it for the Torrent. And now Hernandez plays this up. Ball eventually comes to the outside, back to Reese. Reese gets past the player. Foul whistled by Jake Harborer. Chicago looking resigned to their fate here at Hart Park. Not much hurry whatsoever from Garcia, and she plays that ball to Ashmore. Ashmore back in the same direction, but this one to Gasca. And eventually ball goes out of bounds once again for a Torrent throw-in. Goal kick, Chicago. Well, just as Chicago House AC has both a men's and women's team, same thing here for FC Milwaukee Torrent. Men played last night in St. Louis. Unfortunately, a 3-2 loss for the men. They next play at Geo's on June 12th at 7 p.m. Again, after today for the women, we will not see them here at Hart Park until June 26th. That game against Chicago House. A 7 p.m. start time for that game as well. Bieda, after being pulled on the arm, continues her run. And then tripped up, but still on the ball. Padilla with a nice, strong yet clean tackle. Getting to that ball first. And while It was a strong tackle. Padilla stood up and was looking for a foul call. Not quite sure what she was looking for, but nevertheless, result wouldn't have been much different than the goal kick that they did get. And as we are in the 90th minute of play, we will have a minimum of 3 minutes of stoppage. Not much happening here in the last few minutes of play. Mickey Easter keeping that ball by her feet, then plays it out to her right back. Torrent perhaps looking for one more, but Chicago trying to find some counterattacking opportunities. Torrent initially did well to hold them up. Ball a bit misplayed. Mickey Easter, though, able to get to it. As Brecker not able to get a clean touch on that ball. Almost going out for a corner kick. Nevertheless, ball stays in. Easter does well. Kics moving this ball around, looking for an opportunity to bring this scoreline to a more respectable place. As right now the Torrent lead 4-1 as the first minute of stoppage time expires. A dangerous play called against Lola Wojcik. One of the many UWM Panthers on the pitch today for FC Milwaukee Torrent. High kick called against her. Ball sent into the box for Chicago. Touched by Lukian. Again, she has scored in both games so far this season. Previous to this match today. Not able to turn that ball around. And Mickey Easter coming off her line, bumping into her own player. Torrent arguing for a call. Looked like the defender wanted a call against the Kics for a push in the back. However, again, wouldn't change much in this game. Now in the 93rd minute of play. Well, with the 2-0 win over Green Bay on June 2nd, and now what looks to be an assured 3 points here at Hart Park, Torrent couldn't ask for a better record as they'll start the season with 2 wins, no losses, no ties, and a perfect 6 points out of a possible 6 points. And while they will officially be in second place in the Great Lakes Conference, if you're looking at points per game, that moves them up to first. Chicago House AC ahead by a point, however. 3 of those points coming from a forfeit win. And that will do it here at Hart Park. FC Milwaukee Torrent with a perfect start to the season with a 4-1 victory over Chicago Kics. Torrent will once again start their 4-game road trip against Quad Cities Rush. That game on June 14th at 7 p.m. But we will see the Torrent back here on June 26th. That game at 7 p.m. taking on Chicago House AC. House in their inaugural season in the WPSL. Well, taking a look at the rundown of goal scorers. Cal Bell getting things started early for FC Milwaukee Torrent. 5th minute goal with an assist from Zoe Heavey. That off of a corner kick. And while FC Milwaukee Torrent would go on to dominate the first half, it would actually be Chicago Kics who would tie things up in the 46th minute of play, with Montini getting a goal past Mickey Easter after taking the ball downfield, beating a couple of defenders, and then having a very quick one-on-one with Easter, which Montini got the better of. And then in the second half action, in the 57th minute of play off of a PK, Laney Higgins would get Milwaukee back up on top with a goal again in the 57th, making it 2-1. And from there, FC Milwaukee Torrent would breeze to a win, getting 2 more goals, one in the 64th minute from Elitis with an assist from Hurdle. Hurdle making some magical moves in the corner near the end line, turning, sending the ball up towards goal where Miletus would get a touch on and send it in the back of the goal. And then what was officially credited to Bieda as the 4th goal for the Torrent, just put a ball up in the air near the goal by Chicago. Not sure if a Kics player actually kicked it over the line or if it was over the line and a Kics player kicked it out in frustration. But however it happened, Bieda credited with her 2nd goal of the season, the 4th goal of the game for FC Milwaukee Torrent. And that is how things would end up here at Hart Park in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. Folks, thanks again for joining me here. My name is Simon Provan, your play-by-play caller for the Torrent women. To my right, and our producer of this stream, Kevin O'Connor, and the man with the magical voice, PA announcer Dan Pfeiffer. We thank you all so much for joining us in on this broadcast of FC Milwaukee Torrent Soccer. We will see you next time. Be good, do well, and we'll see you on June 26th. See you.